What is going on, movie lovers and butt smokers, and welcome back to 5 on It. On today's episode, the comedy festivities continue. Last week, we did Wedding Crashers as a review. Hope you guys enjoyed that. But on today's episode, we are doing our top 5 comedies of all time, with one honorable mention as well. But before we dive into the comedy, I just want to touch on a little bit of the spooky season real quick. A question got brought up on a podcast that I was listening to, and I wondered what Sir Fraser would think about it. And so with all the horror movies and franchises out there like this and that, like Nightmare on Elm Street, Scream, Poltergeist, Exorcist, yada, 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 what would be if you were in that world and you believe in like whatever's going on and all that type of stuff, like shit's happening, which horror franchise or movie do you think that you could actually survive in? And what horror franchise or movie do you think that you're just toast? There's no way I'm surviving.
Which one I'm surviving? Child's Play. I'm fucking him up.
I know.
He's going into the wood chipper. I'm talking Fargo,
bro. Because like
he's not. I'm not even being. I'm not bothered.
Because like, even
I'm unbothered.
It's like Chucky is going to have to get the. I mean, he's going to have to do like some tactical shit like he did in the third Child's Play where he switched the bullets for real ones, like with the paintball, like when in the army one, or like he's gonna have to do some tactical shit because there is no way, like as soon as like I believe like that mom where she's like, you better talk, goddamn it, I'm gonna throw you in the fire. Oh, I'm smashing this dude like left to right. But then there's also in the series, in the Child's Play series, there was a moment where Chucky and the protagonist is having like a little tussle, and he does have a line where he's like, I know what you're wondering. You're probably thinking, how is this doll so strong? It's the power of the Dumbella. It's pretty hilarious. But it's like, maybe we wouldn't have such an easy way because it is like fighting a grown man. He's got grown man strength. Man. So maybe it wouldn't be so easy. But
call me Ray Finkel. I'm sending him through I'm sending him across the street.
These laces will be fucking out.
Which one would be the most difficult to survive? If I'm being honest, it would probably be something like... well, yeah, The Grudge is a franchise. I think something like that, or Freddy, because you got to sleep.
That's where I went to, was like Nightmare on Elm Street.
Freddy's difficult. I think when you start getting into the supernatural ones, those are the more challenging ones, just because I feel like their power is just it's on a different scale.
Yeah,
like they're not confined by the bounds of reality.
Yeah.
In physics.
and honestly too, like I mean, we can all say like, oh shit, I'm just gonna pack up and move. But let's say you have a family and your job, and it's not as easy just to like, and let's say like the thing just follows you too. It's not as easy to just necessarily like grab your shit and just like bounce. You just have like a whole life too.
I'll tell you what. I'll tell you a fuck no franchise for me, and that's the 28 Days Later. I'm not doing that at all. In fact, get me to a ship.
Well, I was thinking like
these motherfuckers are sprinting after us.
Nightmare on Elm Street was like I first was thinking of, and then like anything like Exorcist or Poltergeist.
Okay, yeah.
Anything like you said, supernatural. But then I was like, well, the zombie world. I was like, if it's like Night of the Living Dead with those slow ass motherfuckers, around, I'm like, oh, bro, I am Bo Jackson, all these bitches. They were getting trucked.
I'm hitting them with the Neon Dion shuffle.
But if it's like World War Z or Dawn of the Dead,
on that Usain Bolt, you know what I'm saying?
Train to Busan. If you haven't seen Train to Busan, check that out. That is a fantastic zombie movie. But if they're running, I might be toasting that one because I can only run for so fucking long, man.
I ain't gonna make it. But yeah, I would probably say Child's Play would be the easiest. I think just off top. And the most difficult will probably be something supernatural like Freddy or The Exorcist or like the Ju-on, where as soon as you step foot in the house, it's a wrap.
Exactly.
They'll find you wherever.
And honestly, like I would say, if I have to like just pick one, honestly, I probably would say Nightmare on Elm Street because you have to sleep. at a certain point. No matter where you go.
Yeah, we're not Samara.
Well, yeah, like whether it's like The Ring, it's like I'm not watching this tape.
Get it out of my face.
The Grudge, I'm not going to the house. If it's Exorcist or Poltergeist, I'm not fucking with that house. Or like you can kind of like, or Evil Dead, I'm not reading that book. You can kind of avoid it to a certain extent. Zombies, you can like, you know, get some guns, maybe get held up. You can try to survive to a, like you've seen Walking Dead.
Well,
You can at least try to survive to a certain point to try to have some sort of zombie normalcy. But even when you're fucking like barricaded in, you're safe, you're fed, the gates are closed and everything. When you go to bed, guess who's waiting for your ass?
yeah.
Good old Fred.
Well, you know, another honorable mention as far as just formidable villains, and I'm rewatching it part 2. Pennywise would definitely be formidable because he preys on your fears and he can make you hallucinate, and I mean, essentially make you hallucinate as though you're daydreaming.
Or it's just like
I mean, he absolutely would be a handful to deal with, especially solo.
And it follows you too, and you don't know what's real.
Exactly.
Like
exactly.
that's the type of shit where it's like anything that's going to follow you. Just like, I mean, an honorable mention could be like a It Follows or Smile, because that would be horrible. Because you could accidentally see somebody die, and now you're cursed, and now you're fucked. So a Smile, I think, would be a good honorable mention.
No, for sure. Well, yo, man, diving into our top 5 comedies of all time. And this is the thing, man. These lists, oftentimes, no matter what, so they can be very, they can change. They're subject to change. There's some things that are going to be, just like we did with our horror, there's certain things that are just going to be firmly anchored on our like list. It was like, I can't ever see this changing. There's too much history. I can't ever see myself falling out of love with this.
Yeah.
But then there's some things that can kind of rotate in and out and permanently out sometimes.
Yeah.
But with that said, before we dive into our top 5, you want to kick us off with your honorable mention?
Yeah. I will start us off with an honorable mention. Before I do, too, I just want to mention 3 quick little movies. Something like A Home Alone, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, Coming to America. To me, like those movies don't jump out to me as like comedies. I know those were on some lists that I've checked out, but to me, those are just, especially like Coming to America and Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. Oh, man, yeah. Those are just like good movies. They're not necessarily like, they have their funny moments in it, but especially with a Coming to America with Eddie Murphy, but they just don't like jump out to me as far as like a purebred comedy. They're just great movies all in all. But with that being said, my first honorable mention is a movie that I watched, I want to say probably when I was like in my high school years and definitely going into my later years, my late teens and my early 20s. My honorable mention is the 2006, probably the movie that epitomizes almost this 500 podcast with bud smoking and movie loving, is Grandma's Boy. And it actually says the genre is comedy / stoner too. But that is... The movie doesn't get a great Rotten Tomato score, but the more and more I watch it, the more nuance I see with some of the jokes and the characters, and it's endlessly quotable for me as well. But I mean, it is, you know, taste may vary with this movie. I could definitely see some people watching this and just not getting it or just not digging it. But for me, it's endlessly laughable. It has numerous quotes, and the characters are hilarious with Nick Swardson and Peter Dante, Alan Covert, even Linda Cardellini. Man, she's a fucking fox in this movie as well, doing her salt and pepper dance. But with my first honorable mention, or my only honorable mention, not my first one, is Grandma's Boy.
Damn, you got me rethinking my honorable mention. Because I ain't gonna lie, man. I wanted to shout out all right. I wanted to shoot some love to.
Hey, shoot some love, man. I shot some love. Shoot it.
All right. Pause. Man, I'm just gonna stick to the list that I had, and that's the 2007 Superbad. This is just an iconic coming of age comedy. We reviewed this movie earlier this year. It's just a fun movie, dude. I can't praise this movie enough. It's highly quotable. Really great writing, really fun characters. I could get a pretty great spectrum of characters, whether it's the cops, McLovin, Seth and Evan, and just the whole. I love comedies and even just movies more broadly, where it's really a day in a life. Whether it's a comedy like this or Training Day, or Collateral. Like I just think that movies that are really condensed in a 24-hour time window, I don't know. It's just. I love that slice of life, even if shit goes completely haywire, which you usually you can count on.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is just a classic for me. I remember seeing this movie in the theater, and it will always. I mean, hell, I was really happy to see the New York Times. Not that I consider them a source of truth by any means, but it was just the same. It was really cool. And I kind of, when I first saw the list of the top 100 movies of the 21st century, and I saw that this was like 100, I was like, okay.
Hell yeah, yeah.
I love seeing Superbad get some love out here.
I know, because like comedy's just comedy is so just subjective. Like what works for some may not work for everybody. Mm-hmm. And so when you see a comedy like that, just like make a list, because usually those lists of like the best movies of all time, it's gonna be more serious films, and even like more action based too as well. Comedy, like when you see some comedies make it, I know a lot of people will probably get up in arms, but when a Superbad makes it, man, I mean, to me, I haven't come across anybody that's necessarily disliked Superbad.
Yeah.
Because I would say like just pulling a movie right up in there that I disliked from the rip is Napoleon Dynamite.
Not a fan. It did nothing for me.
That's a movie where like if I saw that make the list, I'll be like, I don't know about that, just because I feel like that has had a lot more people waver. Superbad, I feel like people love that movie, man.
Yeah,
and it's only gotten better with age.
And there's certain movies like Superbad, Wedding Crashers, Anchorman. I know for some, I mean, I would say Step Brothers, but I mean, some people say Talladega Nights. I haven't seen that one, but Walk Hard. There's some movies, especially during that early window, the aughts. I mean, they were just firing on all cylinders. But yeah, man, that's my honorable mention.
Well, actually, that being said, I can lead us into our top 5. Well, this is in no particular order.
Yeah,
this
for sure.
isn't like 5 through 1. This is just our best 5 each. But you mentioned a movie there that is on my list. And we are going with the 2006 comedy sports movie, Talladega Nights, The Ballad of Ricky Bobby. This movie is fucking hilarious, man. I'm not sure which one came first. I'm pretty sure this came first between this and Step Brothers. I'm not quite sure. Actually, is this going to pop up? I'm not quite sure.
Step Brothers was 2008. Yep.
2008. Dude, I'll be honest. The first time I watched it, I wasn't a huge fan of this movie. But the more I see it, the more I love it. Because like with comedy too, it's like there's some nuance to it. There's like the way you see certain like facial expressions or the way like the tone is. And Will Ferrell is just, and John C. Reilly, this is a movie too, like where you see their chemistry is just off the screen. And that's why they ended up doing a Step Brothers. That's arguably even better for some. I mean, I'm more of a Ricky Bobby fan to me, because you could just say Ricky Bobby and you know exactly the movie you're talking about. I mean, I guess you could just say Step Brothers or whatever, but Ricky Bobby is such a funny character, and I think like it's in the comedy like pantheon somewhere as far as like comedy figures.
If you're not first, you're last.
Yeah, exactly, dude. This movie has like quotes out of the ass, man. Like as far as like I might be 8 years old, but I'll beat your ass. Dude, even when you just mentioned if you're not first, you're last, dude. And then you're seeing Sacha Baron Cohen playing the French driver as well, and even Leslie Bibb. Like as far as like she's a great actress, and even she was in the new White Lotus as well.
Oh, okay. I haven't seen the new season.
Like her name just doesn't pop up, but every time I see her face, it just kind of classes up the joint a little bit. Where I'm like, I like her. I like seeing her. So every time I see her pop up in a movie or anything, it always just makes it a little bit better in my opinion. But Talladega Nights is just one of the best comedies of all time. Numerous quotes out of the ass, and has like great characters as well. That's all. I'll just leave it at that, man. 2006 Talladega Nights.
All right. I see what you're doing there. Man, let's see. For my first honorable mention, That is going to be the.
Oh, you mean
I'm sorry, my honorable mention, but my first top 5 movie. That's going to be the 1992 classic Boomerang with Eddie Murphy. This cast is just amazing. Eddie Murphy, Halle Berry, Robin Givens, David Allen Greer, Martin Lawrence, John Witherspoon, Eartha Kitt, Grace Jones. I mean, this movie is phenomenal, and I really love the soundtrack as well. It had bangers on there like "There You Go," performed by Johnny Gill. I mean, this was an era too where I feel like a lot of the black films were coming out had really great soundtracks. Dead Presidents. Let's see, the fucking 5 Heartbeat soundtrack, bro. I had that. We had that on CD in my house. I mean, you just had a lot. Poetic Justice was a pretty damn good soundtrack. New Jack City, like this was a time where there was a lot of like the soundtrack experience was curating the whole vibe of the movie, and people were bumping those just. Even if they hadn't seen the movie, I feel like people were familiar at least with some of the songs from the soundtracks. But this movie, man, it's just this is one of my favorite Eddie Murphy movies. We have this man who it's highly quotable. I think about it, you know. He's telling me pussy whipped. You gotta reverse that. Whip that pussy. You know,
John Witherspoon is so. I haven't seen this movie like front to back. I've seen it pretty much like their shorts.
Marcus. I'm not wearing any panties. Like, this shit is wild, bro.
Dude, when I saw like the dinner scene, that's when I realized I was like, John Witherspoon's in this movie.
Oh yeah,
and
yeah.
I was like, oh my god.
He plays David Allen Greer's father.
You said Martin Lawrence is in this.
Martin
too?
Lawrence is one of the good friends.
I thought I saw him pop up in this movie at some point.
You got to coordinate.
Yeah,
you know, with the mushroom lined shirt, suit jacket. Man, it's just. Yeah, it's a great movie about Eddie Murphy's character, who is very much, you know, womanizer, playboy. There's that great, that shameless scene where he pays this couple for their dog leash because he sees this really hot woman walking her dog, and he acts like his dog is run off. He's like, Kirby. And he's doing this to like bait this woman into giving him her number, and you know, then there's like the whole motif throughout this movie of the fingernail polish test where he looks at it, the feet look terrible, you know, that's an automatic no. But yeah,
we still do that to this day too.
Yeah. He meets his match in Robin Givens, who is a player herself, and his life kind of starts to fall apart because he ends up sprung off of this woman. And it's just it's a really fun movie, great watch. If you haven't seen it, I really recommend it. If you haven't seen it in a while, I highly recommend revisiting it. But that's my my first movie on the.
Yeah, I need to watch Boomerang. Like I said, I mentioned I've seen a lot of shorts and a lot of clips from this movie, and they're all pretty funny. Because I mean, you have so many comedy legends in this.
Yeah,
so,
man.
Like, how can it not be at least a little bit funny? But for the fourth movie, it's a movie that has been on a couple of our videos. It's been on our greatest. I can't remember exactly what we titled it. Did we do like a greatest of all time or a top 5 of all time?
We did a top 5 for what era?
I know we did a comedy, or not. That's what we're doing right now. We did like best of 90s, and then we did best
of the 2020 so far. We did that.
Maybe with this, maybe I'm just thinking of like during conversation when we've just talked about some of our best movies of all time. Well, this movie has definitely been on our video for the best of the 90s, but we are going with the 1995 movie, the family comedy. Do you know what this is? Can you guess what this is?
Family comedy?
Mm-hmm. And those are on our best of 90s?
Family comedy. Not Dumb and Dumber?
No.
Can you give me an actor?
Ben Stiller.
Heavyweights.
Yes, sir.
Oh, yeah. Classic.
Oh, yes,
Classic.
man. This is another movie.
Something About Mary is another great movie he was in. He had a good run in the 90s, man.
Ben Stiller.
Was Zoolander?
Yeah, or that's...
Was that 2000s, though? I think that might have been 2000s.
We're going to look that up. That was 2001.
Okay. Yeah, dude. Sorry.
But still, like I'm like Ben Stiller, I don't think gets enough credit for like some of his comedy.
Tropic
Maybe
Thunder. He's got
oh yeah, like you're gonna see Ben Stiller's name pop up on this list one more time. But we're going with the 95 heavyweights.
I know what it is now.
This movie is like I watched this when I was a kid, and the Rotten Tomatoes
broken my
score.
camera.
It's a little bit better than Grandma's Boy, but it's just about you're following these kids, and they go to a fat camp, and Ben Stiller plays like the crazy counselor, or not counselor, but the crazy owner that just bought the camp. The camp used to be a fat camp, but the owners was very leisurely. They had a whole bunch of things that you could do for fun, and they didn't really care. They just wanted to have fun, like you should. But this guy wants to whip you in shape, and that's what he wants to do. And he's just like this like crazy psychotic just trainer dude, and he's trying his best to get these kids into
shape.
Yeah, and like you're gonna see like some kids that you might recognize, like a Kenan Thompson. That's still largely recognized in the comedy
Legend.
world, or just in the world in general. Sean Weiss from the Mighty Ducks. But man, we're gonna mention, like, say this numerous times throughout this whole episode, that this movie just has endless like quotes. But you're seeing Ben Stiller too. Some of that is early work, some of his early comedy work. I think he probably had some to do with like some of the behind the scenes as far as like writing this movie as well. But then you're seeing his dad, Jerry Stiller, as well, and his mom, his wife, and like a small little role. But like I said, the movie is just fun. You're seeing the kids and their shenanigans on trying to how they're sneaking food into the camp, and like what they're doing to the counselors, and even some of the counselors.
The chocolate melting.
They tie up a counselor and they spread honey on him and hoping that bears get there. Well, they scare the counselor into thinking bears are going to get there, but then they walk away and they hear him screaming. They're like, "I thought you said bears wasn't in this woods." And they go back and it's just like a little deer licking his chest.
Oh yeah.
And so like you're just seeing how it goes from like the kids just being just worked to death, and then they try to overtake the camp, and now they're running the camp, and Ben Stiller is like locked into a cage, and like I said, the shenanigans that ensue with this movie is just hilarious. This movie holds a special place in my heart. I used to be I wasn't fat to these, maybe some of these young men to their extent, but I was a little bit on the heftier side. But this movie holds a special place in my heart, and it's funny every single time I watch it. You definitely should give it a chance if you haven't. 1995 Heavyweights.
That's a great movie, man. Damn.
Dude,
I do remember you telling me that that's one of your OG favorites.
Because I know it's like it's like that's gonna be when I put like my best of any list, and this makes it. That's kind of like the sore eye that people like look at like what. But it's just, man, I love this movie. And when Disney Plus first came out, this was literally the first thing I watched on it. I was like, I gotta throw on Heavyweights.
Damn,
At
okay.
that point, because I haven't seen it in so long.
Yeah.
But I was like, bro, I gotta put on Heavyweights. I gotta throw this shit on. It's so classic. It's so funny.
No doubt, man. Oh, that's a great choice.
Get it later.
All right. So you ready? My second movie.
Yes, sir.
It's the 1998 action buddy comedy movie, Rush Hour, baby.
Listen, I called it. I knew you were gonna put this.
This was really tough because I love Rush Hour 2 a lot. But I gave the nod to Rush Hour because it's the OG that started it all, and I think it also there's a lot of friction between them as these two characters meet, Carter and Lee, and they're kind of in each other's way, so that kind of adds to the humor, and they're really able to build off of that. But man, this movie is iconic for me. It just takes me back to that time too. Can I get a what? You know, like, I mean, just the songs that were tied to this.
You never touch a black man's radio.
Yeah, man.
Dude, I love the scene too, like when they talk about their dads. When he's like, my daddy used to be a cop. He's like, oh, your father was a police officer. Yeah, my daddy used to he arrested these many men. He's like, oh yeah, well my daddy did this and my daddy did that. Dude, I love that little scene.
Who the hell you think you got, Chelsea Clinton? And it was just like, which one of y'all kicked me? I mean, this movie just has many iconic scenes. Wipe yourself off, you're bleeding, you know, just really good scenes, good moments. the chemistry between Jackie Chan and Chris Tucker, it just worked. Yeah, man, this is one of those movies. I feel like they used to always play this on TBS back in the day,
TBS,
or TNT. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's one of those movies I could watch really at any point, and I'm gonna have fun with it wherever I jump in at.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's my second movie, man.
Yeah, I knew you were gonna put this on there, and honestly, I thought about putting this or even like a Bad Boys because that's
Especially the
iconic
first
as well.
one for me.
But I think Rush Hour leans more into the comedy than the Bad Boys, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I think Bad Boys. I mean, you're getting Michael Bay too, so Michael Bay is more of an action type of dude. But there's some really good comedy with Martin Lawrence and Will Smith as well.
And I mean, this was a really great era. We talked about Ben Stiller and how prolific and how many really good movies he was a part of in that span of the 90s and really into the early 2000s. And I would say similar thing with Chris Tucker. I mean, you had Dead Presidents, which was a drama. He brought some comedic value for sure, but that was that's one of my favorite 90s pictures. You also had Money Talks, and then you had this movie. You Are Fat. What? Pretty Hot and Tempting. Yeah, man. He was on a really good run. I mean, of course, Friday. Yeah, he was just, man, on a pretty legendary. Dude, Fifth Element. Come on, man.
Yeah.
Jackie Brown. I mean.
Dude, with Friday too. That's another movie that popped up on that comedy list, and I was just like, yeah, it's funny, but like it's just transcended. Like it's just a good movie for me. Like I just don't. If somebody's like, let's put on a comedy, I'm just like, I don't know. Friday just wouldn't pop in my mind.
I mean, I like that movie a lot.
Yeah,
but
I love Friday.
I'm not as tied to that as, to be honest. I mean, this was a movie that I was kind of wrestling with. Well, too, from that time, I love Class Act with Kid and Play, and I love House Party.
Oh yeah.
Both of those movies are some of my favorite comedies and coming of age movies. But I would lean more to one of those two movies than I would Friday personally.
Yeah, or even like if I'm just going for laughs, I'd probably go after Friday After Next a little bit more, probably, in honesty.
Dude,
there's just a little bit more like quotables and maybe a little bit more funny characters because with like the Mexican neighbors, and even you're getting. I mean, I'm not gonna try to compare Mike Epps to Chris Tucker, but. He's also, I mean, he does his thing as well, and then you get the other neighbor when he's like, "All right, Day."
Oh, the Asian lady.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, for sure.
And so, like, if I even just for Friday is the better movie, but if I was like if I want to laugh more, I might go for Friday After Next a little bit more. Or is it next Friday?
There's Friday, next Friday, and then Friday.
Yeah, next Friday. I mean,
dude, I mean, as far as like, because I mean, the first Friday, there's like would you say there's like a stoner is somewhat of a stoner movie, right?
Yeah.
Somewhat, but not necessarily like a full on. But if I'm going for a movie that's going to have some weed in it and it's just going to be funny, I'll take Half Baked all day.
Oh yeah,
that's like I mean I don't know if a lot of people agree with that though.
Well, that's why it's like I'll take a Half Baked or even a Grandma's Boy when I'm thinking of like a stoner comedy and stuff. Like I don't think of like Friday. Like to me, it's just. It doesn't like necessarily like I could categorize that as a stoner comedy, but it just wouldn't pop in my mind as like far as like that's the first genre I would think of. Because I would say like even like if I had to put two genres, I would say like a drama comedy, but
a dramedy,
yeah. But that was your number 4?
Yeah, my fourth movie. Second one, yeah.
So we're going with the third one.
Yep.
And today we are going with a movie that came out in 2013. We are going with This Is the End, starring this great Seth Rogen, who just won an Emmy for that TV show. Oh, man, I just drew a blank on the show. The Studio. Also, James Franco, Jonah Hill, Danny McBride, Michael Cera, Jay Baruchel.
That's a star-studded cast for sure.
Dude, but then you're also, I mean, Michael Cera doesn't play a huge role into it. I mean, you also got Emma Watson in there, Craig Robinson, Kevin Hart is in there for a bit. Christopher Mintz-Plasse from Superbad, McLovin. Dude, Rihanna pops up in there.
Yeah, she slaps the shit out of Michael Cera.
Yeah, like Mindy Kaling, dude, because they have a party. I mean, this is a movie I love, like that meta type of stuff where it's like this is like we're playing ourselves, and I was like, oh, I love this concept of the movie. So I was already sold on it. and the fact that it's like this end of the world type deal, like so it's like it has this action element to it. Dude, I was like, I couldn't be sold any harder on this movie, and you're having all of these like these modern day like comedy greats right now. Dude, this movie's fantastic for me, and like like I said, having the apocalypse as far as like a little bit of a plot not to say a plot hole, but plot points in this movie that just enhances it even more because now they're just stranded at James Franco's house, and you would think like maybe it would feel almost claustrophobic because now we're just in this one place and we're just following all these characters, but it just enhances it even more so because now they're going crazy and they take drugs and they got to figure out what they're going to do. And so Emma Watson pops up in there because they think she's a survivor. If you haven't seen This Is the End, I don't want to give it. Have you seen this?
I haven't seen it since it dropped. It's been a long time.
But you have seen it though?
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Dude, I mean the fucking Channing Tatum cameo was so disturbing.
Dude, but like the fact that he even pops up in here as Danny McBride's like little BDSM.
Isn't Franco getting raptured? He's like, "Fuck you!"
Yeah, he's like,
and then they lowers him back.
Suck my. And he's like, "You can't get to heaven being petty." Bro, and then he ends up biting his nose off. Dude, the fact when they introduced Danny McBride, like that is one of my favorite character introductions in a movie. I mean, I'm not gonna say it's up there where like when Thor pops up in there.
Oh yeah.
But you're just thinking like, all right, where's Danny? I know he's in there somewhere, but he's not invited to this party. But then the next morning, he's fucking up all of their supplies. He's unaware that there's actually an apocalypse. You see him wasting all the water, pouring
Eating
it between his
people's
toes.
food.
Yeah, but I mean. He actually does a nice thing, which is actually the worst thing. He's like, "Hey guys, I made breakfast for everybody." He's like, "You wasted all of our food." James Franco didn't suck no dick last night. Now I know you're tripping. Dude, I love Danny McBride. Dude, from Eastbound and Down, Righteous Gemstones. He's another dude in that Ben Stiller range where it's like I don't think and he's done like some serious stuff. Like he helped write for that
Pineapple Express.
Yeah, Pineapple Express. But he wrote or helped write the new Halloween movies.
Really?
Yeah, like I know the first one I really dig. The second one I feel like it was all right. Third one I really didn't fuck with. But I mean, he still is in there and he's still writing like stuff like that. So it tells you he's just not a one-trick pony. And I think, well, I'm not sure if he gets enough credit, but Danny McBride is such a genius in the comedy world and even just in the world of writing in general, man.
Yeah, that's impressive. But yeah, I had no idea he had that in his chopstick to write horror.
Yeah, when I saw that, I was like, I mean, it's not just him. It's like him and his duo, whatever. Just like Seth Rogen, him and his like Evan Goldberg. I want to say, but whoever he writes with, man, like they are such a killer team. Mm-hmm. But yeah, that's what I'm going with, man. Is my third movie as my favorite comedy movies of all time is the. Did I say 20? It was 2013. Yeah, 2013. This Is the End. Check it out.
Well, I see your Michael Cera movie, and I'll raise you. 2010's Scott Pilgrim versus the World, baby. A gig is a gig is a gig. Yo, I love this movie. This movie is not only aesthetically one of my favorite movies, it actually will be similar with another one on this list. I love the combination, the way that they combined manga and comic book imagery into this movie, from the panels to the animation. The story is just endlessly fun. And one of the things about this story is it does ramp up in terms of just the caliber of villains as we go further and further. Yeah. When he fights the vegan who has the superpowers.
Dude, and that's Brandon Routh too. He plays Superman, like you mentioned, like with the cast of like This Is the End. Mm-hmm. Scott Pilgrim, I feel like can rival it just as much.
Oh
like,
yeah, Chris Evans.
Brie Larson.
What's
his name? Kieran Culkin.
Yes, Kieran Culkin. This movie is just tons of fun. Jason Schwartzman, he plays a really great villain. You made me swallow my gum. It's gonna be in my digestive tract for 7 years. Like it's just again, man. This is one of those movies that is like it's so rewatchable for me. I mean. Even from the opening credits where we see Sex Bomb, the music kicks ass. But we see the band playing, and we get this just the graphics and the visuals of them performing, and then the camera work as we're like zooming out and we're seeing them perform in the living room, and we find out that this piece of shit Scott Pilgrim is dating a high schooler.
Yeah, like it's like what?
Wait a minute.
It's like, should I be watching?
As he's fucking practicing the Zelda theme song on his guitar. It's just like, but yeah, man, this is such a fun movie. I can't recommend it enough if you haven't seen it. This is outright classic to me. I know I don't know if it's technically considered a cult classic, but it's just such a fun movie. I was thinking it's one of those disappointing things too that this didn't do well at the box office.
Probably just didn't know how to market it.
I think that's probably, it might have been the timing too, because God knows that can be a factor. When you drop is just as important sometimes as the marketing campaign behind it.
And maybe it was like not necessarily like also like maybe it was just before its time as well, like especially like with
before
like
the comic book craze.
Being, I think it would be. I mean, I think they've done like an animated Scott Pilgrim more recently too. But I feel like if this movie was released today, it could potentially have a little bit of a wider audience. But that movie is fan. We did a review on Scott Pilgrim. The quality got messed up or something along the lines. But we'll have to
have to revisit that one, because this is absolutely, it's just a blast to talk about and really get into the weeds and how they made this movie. And
to me, it's like
great casting as well.
It's on the lines of like a Sin City too, of like as far as like. This is like a comic book, just
one of the best,
to life, and it visually just looks fantastic. It hasn't aged like a mid. Like I want to say a few different words.
It still looks great. And I was to say, man, because I know we talked about Sin City. We were kind of about. I remember us kind of discussing, like, what's the best, like just from a visual standpoint, best comic book or even graphic novel adaptation in terms of its like faithfulness to like the medium. And I mean these two movies, Sin City and Scott Pilgrim, were the only ones that came to mind. Oh yeah, just because of how they just look so amazing. And they still look great. And that's to your point earlier.
And you don't even have to like know that it's based on a comic. You could just show this to somebody and you could just be like,
whoa.
Yeah, no, they'd be like, this has to be like based on a comic, because this looks like a comic book movie.
Definitely. But it's my third movie, man.
We are getting down to our last two, man. And my last two, I feel like it is easily some comedy greats. This first one, I didn't see it pop up on the list somehow, like on the two on IMDb and Rotten Tomatoes. They didn't have it in their top 100 or 150 for this first movie I'm going to mention. And it's the 2008 war comedy movie. Ben Stiller, Jack Black,
I knew it was
Robert Downey Jr., Tropic Thunder. Bro, I can't believe this movie didn't make those lists. This movie's fucking hilarious.
I think some of the sensibilities probably have changed that made this more controversial, especially with Downey Jr.'s character.
Yeah.
But to me, I mean, I see those clips still online or on IG, and I'd laugh my ass off.
And
I'm
even
a dude playing a dude, disguising another dude.
And seeing him, like, some of the behind the scenes, and that video I showed you where, like, he doesn't break character. He actually asks for his line, but he's talking in his real voice. Bro, and seeing him speak as Robert Downey Jr. in the makeup and everything is, like, hilarious in itself as well. But Jack Black doesn't get enough credit, like, and Ben Stiller, because, I mean, Robert Downey Jr. steals the show with the makeup and the acting. But Jack
I just
Black
wanted to put another shrimp on you, Bobby.
Yeah, dude, when he's
shit ain't funny.
When Jack Black is tied up and he's like, and he talk about what he's gonna do to him if he just lets him out for his drugs. That is hilarious.
Tom Cruise is hilarious.
Dude, I would say like he steals the show just as much as a Robert Downey Jr. because I think they were thinking about doing a spinoff with his character.
Oh, with which character?
Tom Cruise's character.
Okay.
Yeah. But then Matthew McConaughey, he pops up. He's Ben Stiller's agent, and he's pretty funny in himself. And he's just like, dude, he wants Tom Cruise just wants Matthew McConaughey just forget about Ben Stiller. Just like, bro, he's gone. Just forget about him. And he's like, I'll get you a jet. And he's like, you want me to forget about my best friend for 20 years for some money and a jet? And he pauses. He's like, no, we're talking about a jet now, right? Like a real jet.
What a scummy thing
And then
to
he's
do.
like, and all the money. And then they fucking throw on fucking whatever song it is. It's hilarious. I think when a lot of people are putting together a lot of their best of comedies. I know Tropic Thunder is going to get brought up at some point in time. I mean, it has to be. This movie is iconic in my opinion. Even though people might be one a little sensitive about it, bro. Grow up. Get the fuck over it, man. Get out of here. This movie's fucking hilarious. It stands the test of time. 2008, Tropic Thunder.
All right, man. I like that. All right. Well, man, my second movie, the 2014 Grand Budapest Hotel.
Ooh.
This movie, I piggyback off of what I said earlier about Scott Pilgrim in terms of just the aesthetics and how enjoyable and beautiful movie like it is to watch. I would say that even more so for this movie. Not only is you have an ensemble cast, right? Wes Anderson is at the helm directing this, but we've got Ralph Fiennes, Adrian Brody, Willem Dafoe, Jeff Goldblum, Harvey Keitel. We just have Tony Revolori. Just a really great cast, and the visuals of this movie are beautiful. It says a lot about memory and touches on other things and like just trauma and tragedy and fascism, but it's told from the POV of this lobby boy. And there's just, dude, so many great scenes when they're tracking, when the camera work, when there's the gunfight in the lobby and they're just firing at each other. He's like, I'm going to blast your candy ass right now. Oh Adrian Brody's such a good villain. I mean, the scene where they all knock each other out, like just the camera work, it's the way that he leverages humor in these really dark moments. It's just, it's arguably his best work. I think it personally is his best work, and this is a movie that is on my top 25. Like, I was happy to see that this movie got a lot of love. I mean, I know when you and I watched it, you hadn't seen it that was your first time seeing it, and I was glad to see, like, yo, this movie's fucking really good. It's really fun, hilarious, well acted, well executed. Yeah, man, I could talk about this movie a lot. I mean, just the inspirations that they took from and really just bringing this world, this 1930s world, to the big screen. It was just,
Yeah, visually, like, when, like, the camera would, like, it looks like a painting. Mm-hmm. And the camera would, like, you just see this one, like, moving piece. Like, I think you saw, like, the train kind of moving, and then camera just slowly zooms in on it. Dude, like, you could tell, like, they're using some sort of miniatures or however they're, like, filming this movie or making this movie. Like, it's kind of, like, trend-setting in a way because just, like, the way they're doing the cuts and just, like, the way they're doing some of their transitions. But the movie, like, the comedy is something that stood out for me when I first watched it. Because it was... I mean, I'm not a huge, like, Wes Anderson, like, dude. And, like, his style is definitely, like, you know, I'm not easy to teach their own, but it's like his taste is going to be subject to change, like, for each body.
And it's not for everybody.
Yeah. And so, like, I wasn't really going into this movie even thinking it was going to be, like, that funny. I was just kind of thinking, like, oh, it's going to be a Wes Anderson, like, weird movie, so let's give it a go. And I was just laughing at I'm like, is this supposed to be a comedy? Because I was, like, thrown off of how funny it was, like, especially, like, towards the end when Ray Fiennes and I forget the other dude, or
Zero?
Zero. And when they have to go on, like, that little chase or whatever to try to find some information.
Yeah.
And then by the end of it, he's just like, just tell me, God damn it, bro. When he has his meltdown. Bro, I love that scene, man. But yeah, Grand Budapest Hotel. If you haven't seen that.
Are you Monsieur Gustav of the Grand Budapest Hotel? Uh-huh. Yes, damn it!
Oh my god!
And even when they are chasing after Willem Dafoe's character, and he's on the cliff, and when we see Zero come up behind and just knock him off,
yeah,
it's just I mean it leverages a lot of different types of humor throughout this movie, but it's really it's a special movie in my heart, man.
Yeah, that's a new comedy, like, favorite of mine as well.
Yeah, but yeah, that's my second movie, man.
Well, we are down to our final movie apiece. And my final movie is easily one of the greatest comedies of all time. You're going to see it on every comedy list somewhere on that. It was easy on both of those lists, and it's going to be on my list. The 1994 Jim Carrey, Jeff Daniels, Dumb and Dumber. I remember watching this when I was just a young boy, laughing my ass off, and I'm watching it as a older man, still laughing my ass off. This movie has stood the test of time with not only its quotes, but just its scenes and its characters and its chemistry with the two. And honestly, like when they did that weird Dumb and Dumber like prequel, that was a piece of shit. That was trash. But the sequel with them was actually not that bad. It was okay.
I didn't see that one.
It wasn't obviously the to the level of a Dumb and Dumber.
OG, yeah.
But it wasn't too bad. I will give it that. But this movie, man, like I said, with the quotes and just like seeing these two idiots and just the journey that they go through just to try to give back this briefcase to this lady that he has the hots for. It's such a simple, such a simple plot. Aspen. Yeah, but man, like it's got a great pace. It doesn't lose any steam, and it even ends on such a great like maddening joke too, when like the bikini girls show up and he's like, do you realize what you have done? And the bus is pulling off and he's like, you gotta excuse my friend,
he's a little slow.
The town is that way.
And they kind of look at him like, all right.
And then he's like, man, a couple of guys are gonna be so lucky and tour the country and spreading oil all over those guys. Like, yeah, Harry, we'll get our shot, we just gotta keep our eyes open. Dude, the movie ends on such a beautiful note, and you're seeing these two friends that even they hit a little bit of a rough patch. Like, you had gloves this whole time? Yeah, we're in the Rockies. Harry, your hands are freezing.
Yo, the toilet scene where he gives him the laxative. Oh my God.
Legendary.
Dude, it's such an iconic scene. And then the toilet.
And the horror in his face, and even the sound that they use when they zoom in on it, like dun, dun, dun.
Well, another great scene is like, oh, that's better than money. Those are IOUs.
$175,000. You may want to hang on to that one. Bro, they go in and he's like, maybe we should rough up the place or tear it up. Send a message like, they got worms in their living room. I don't think they'll get the message.
Yo, and then when he sells the headless bird to the blind kid,
man,
and then even before that, remember when he locks his wallet in the news in the fucking news bin, he tells the old lady, he's like, hey, don't go dying on me now.
Yeah, I forget exactly his line, but he was just like, they're wrong, like the old aren't just like helpless, but he says something to her that's like so fucked up that like when he walks away, you're just like, oh yeah,
your wallet ain't gonna be there.
Yeah, exactly. But when you watch this younger, this is when I say like comedies can just age over time. Mm-hmm. When you watch something as a younger boy and you pick up on some jokes, because obviously this movie is a comedy, but the older you get, you pick up on other jokes. Just like that's a joke I did not get when I was like first watching this. Like I just kind of missed it because I'm not paying attention to really what he's saying. But when you get older, you're picking up on what exactly we see. Like, oh man, that's really fucked up what he's actually saying to this woman. And so to see comedies just like age over time, like this is when you know like this is a true great movie. That when it ages like so well like this.
Yeah.
But 94, Dumb and Dumber, this is on everybody's. Like if you had to make a top 100, I'm sure it'll be on your list. Not saying it's going to be your final movie that you're going to say, but depending on how vast the list is, Dumb and Dumber is making everybody's comedy list, in my opinion.
Would you say do you think this is his best comedy?
Jim Carrey's? I guess probably, yeah, because since I have this in my top 5. Mm-hmm. But it was a little bit of a conversation with myself between this and Me, Myself, and Irene and Cable Guy. And I know there's some other ones, Liars up there as well. Mm-hmm. But I would say Dumb and Dumber just because I just have so much nostalgia like connected to it. But
I got a lot of love for The Mask too, to be fair. I almost like The Mask more than Ace Ventura, to be honest.
I do like watching the Ace. Ace Ventura.
The first Ace didn't age as well for me.
Yeah, and also and Cameron Diaz.
To
me, that is the top 5 hottest women on screen in that movie. Like she is just setting the screen on fire.
No,
it's
for sure,
crazy, man. But yeah, Dumb and Dumber is my final movie, bro. So my 5 at least was my honorable mention, Grandma's Boy. Then my best 5 goes with Heavyweights, This Is the End, The Ballad of Ricky Bobby, Tropic Thunder, and Dumb and Dumber.
All right. So I'll recap mine as well. So my honorable mention was Superbad. Then we had Boomerang, Rush Hour, Scott Pilgrim versus the World, The Grand Budapest, and my last movie, With a Bullet, 2005's The 40-Year-Old Virgin.
No!
This movie is so good.
This is too good that you left off.
Highly rewatchable. Directed by Judd Apatow, stars Steve Carell. It was actually co-written with Steve Carell. I did not know that. Man, Paul Rudd does this thing in this movie. Just the whole cast, man. I love the casting. Catherine Keener plays the love interest. Seth Rogen is great as one of his coworkers. What's his other? The manager Beth, hilarious, like flirting, like inappropriate with with Andy. You got Jay. He's another really funny part of the story. Funny actor. Your dick is my dick. I'm getting you some pussy. Just great lines. Like even Paul Rudd. If I have to hear Yamo be there one more time, I'm gonna Yamo burn this place to the ground. And when they find out Andy is a virgin, and he walks into work and on all the screens, Jay has like ass, just like from music videos, just ass everywhere. He said, "This you, Annie? You be coming wave after wave." He said, "By the weekend, your nuts gonna be drained." And he's saying this during commerce hours. There are customers. The dynamic, even with some of the other characters, like I said, with Jay and the Indian character, like those two are going at it. Like, oh my God, Kevin Hart has a great cameo. Aim high, Willis.
That's a legendary scene.
Oh man, such a legendary scene.
This your friend? I'm coming back. I'm clapping both of y'all.
You just got fucked up with him.
Oh, dude. I was just thinking of like Seth Rogen's in that movie. I've had Seth Rogen in. You had Seth Rogen in Superbad. He wasn't. Oh, actually, yeah, he was in Superbad. Then also I mentioned him in This Is the End. Mm-hmm. Yes, I mean Seth Rogen is plastered throughout this lease.
Yeah, man.
Just like Ben Stiller as well.
Yep, true. I mean, this is just an iconic movie at this point. And I think it's definitely it's up there as one of the best for me. Well, I would say it's definitely one of the best, just more broadly in that 2000 the aughts, right? We were talking about earlier, where you just had just a bunch of back-to-back bangers. And yeah, this was one of the earlier ones. And man, I mean, the common thing in all these movies that we've been talking about is just rewatchability. And some of these, I mean, most of these movies, you can drop in at the halfway mark or damn near the end. I'm like, all right, let me stop real quick.
Yeah,
let me catch this.
You're gonna get like some sort of joke or some funny scene. Mm-hmm. Something's gonna come up. Just a recent one we did. I mean, it come up on this list, but Wedding Crashers. That's another movie that I feel like it's on in the comedy greats. It's because of the pacing as well. You can get dropped into any point in that movie, and within probably 5 or 10 minutes, you're gonna see something funny, hear something funny. Like that's exactly what it's gonna do.
No doubt, man. Well, those are our top 5 comedies of all time.
Yes, sir.
With that, man, what's on your radar?
Man, something that's on my radar is 2 movies. It's the new Predator Badlands movie that's coming out recently. We're gonna be having a Predator review of the 80s, the Arnold Schwarzenegger one,
classic,
coming out here pretty soon to honor that movie as well. But Predator Badlands, dude, that movie looks badass, and we're following a predator as like the protagonist as well for the first time. It definitely looks exciting to me. And another movie that I want to go see in theaters, hopefully is playing somewhere around me, is Frankenstein. It's going to get released on Netflix, I want to say in November 7th or something like that.
Really?
Yeah. It's not going to be in theaters because it's Netflix. They just don't do like those type of like releases for that long or anything like that. Damn. But I've heard like really good things about it, and visually it looks amazing. So I don't know why they wouldn't want to put this in theaters and make some money.
Especially, I mean, it seems like a type of movie you'd want to see on the big screen. Like, Nosferatu.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know why they wouldn't want to do, like I said, make some money, and then it shows you that once you put movie in theaters and then bring it to a streaming site, that your numbers do a lot better.
Okay.
But I don't know why they don't want to do that. But that's a movie I definitely want to check out if it's playing somewhere around me. Is Frankenstein. So those are two movies that's definitely on my radar. But one movie that you want to stay off my radar is Bring Her Back.
Oh man,
Fuck that movie. That
Damn.
ending sucks ass. I'm not gonna spoil anything. Have you seen that?
no.
Just in case if you do stumble on it, there's a character in this movie. I don't want to I'm gonna stay too. Not gonna say too much, just in case if you do watch it. But this movie is actually okay, and the boy that's on the cover of it with the weird eyes and stuff, dude, he like visually looks horrifying. He acts his ass off for what he's given. But there's a character in this movie where I'm just like, this character needs to fucking get it because this character is doing fucked up shit. And this character doesn't have the ending that I preferred. And it kind of ruined the movie, in my opinion.
Okay.
So that's two movies that's on my radar and one movie that is off my radar. What about you, sir?
Let's see. I would say... Okay, one that's on my radar. This is a movie that just came out, and that's Good Fortune. That's the movie written and directed and starring Aziz Ansari, as well as Keanu Reeves as his guardian, like a second-rate guardian angel. It looks a lot of fun. It looks like a lot of fun. I've been seeing positive things about it online. I definitely want to try to catch that. Hopefully before it goes to streaming, because these days sometimes
they pull these movies.
They pull them
so
pretty
fast.
quickly. But that's one on my radar, and the other one is Welcome to Derry. 2 episodes in, I am really hyped for this. I'm all in on this show right now. I'm really looking forward to seeing where they go with this series. It seems like parts of that series so far remind me definitely of Stranger Things.
Oh yeah.
But leaning more into the horror, even more so. And well, hell, I guess I got another thing on my radar: the new Stranger Things season. I can't wait for that.
Yeah.
I saw the trailer for that, the teaser for that. Looks great. I'm gonna be there. I don't care if they look like they're in college.
Dude,
I'm still here.
Dude, somebody said, "What's more '80s? What's more '80s than people in their 20s playing like high school kids?" And I'm like, that holds water.
Hell, even in the 90s, ain't no way in hell in House Party, Slab, and those fucking
Yeah,
bullies.
exactly,
These motherfuckers
yeah.
look like they were bricklayers. They
That's
look like they were in their 30s, approaching 40.
That's exactly kind of like. I mean, it doesn't bother me that much. I don't really care.
I still got to see this through. You feel me? Like, and I'm really excited to see that series wrap up, because it's one of my all time favorites.
You gonna go and see it in theater? They're releasing the finale in theaters.
Yeah, shit. Why not? I would.
Yeah,
If they would have done that for Game of Thrones or one of my, I'm trying to think of another favorite series, I would have paid to see that.
As long as it's at least, because like I know some of the episodes have like, I think they're all at least an hour, but some are hour and a half. I think some are just like about like a little over an hour. Mm-hmm. As long as it's like closer to the hour and a half.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, I don't really want to strain and go out all the way out to a theater just to watch an hour.
For an
hour?
hour?
I mean, I know that might seem a little bit like, oh, it's just an extra 30 minutes, but hey, 30 minutes of film can.
Especially when, I'm making a point to get there.
It's like take out the last 30 minutes of an in-game. Shit.
But yeah, that's what's on our radar. That wraps up this week's episode. But stay tuned, and we'll catch y'all next time.
Peace.